Yeah, so we just watched 48 Hours, and in my book, it's the best buddy cop film that has ever been made. It's right up there with Lethal Weapon, in my opinion. If you're gonna put buddy cop movies, compare them. I think 48 Hours is probably obviously it's kind of started that genre in the 80s, so I think that it kind of like surpasses it. And but to me, it's like three things that make that movie rewatchable. Even though, yeah. So and just a movie that I watch every year, at least once or twice a year. It's the pacing of the movie. We talked about this while we were watching it. It's the score, the musical score, and then obviously it's the dialogue between Nick Nolte and Eddie Murphy, but not just the dialogue between them. It's also it's everybody's dialogue. It's just the script in that movie is just like it's perfect in my
Yeah, it's on point.
estimation.
Yeah, their chemistry between the two stars was off the chart. Really, I mean, you're saying Lethal Weapon. I mean, the reason that movie's so good is the writing, because they're funny. Those guys are funny, and this is the same way. Like one guy's an asshole, one guy's the funny guy,
Yeah.
and that you have to have chemistry because there's movies that there isn't chemistry, and you're like, what the hell?
Yeah,
Like
there's absolutely chemistry between Nick Nolte and Eddie Murphy, and obviously it's like, you know, it's one of those movies where it's like, okay, yeah, they can't make it that kind of movie today just because of the language and kind of the racial undertones and just flat out racism that kind of under
yeah,
that's in the movie, but it doesn't take away from everything else that's going on, and actually those aspects of the movie add to the character development in the at the end of the movie. So I, I wish you could make a movie like that without offending everyone
everybody, the
nowadays,
whole world,
but
the
yeah,
whole world.
but
Yeah,
it's like, but really, I mean, it was a different time, so obviously, that has to play into it. But I just, I think that what makes it so great is that obviously the chemistry, but also just like as I just said, the character development where they at first they hate each other and then they grow to love each other at the end of the movie, and that's I mean that's what a buddy cop movie should be.
yeah,
I think what you get too though is, especially if you aren't familiar with the movie, is what a presence that Nolte has on camera, and like he
Yeah.
definitely has a presence in a way about him. Like if you didn't grow up with him and you were revisiting now, it's like the first thing I said to you guys, I'm like, man, look how good Nolte looks.
yeah,
He's a good looking dude. Like, and
Right.
he
Yeah.
can carry himself, and he has a presence about himself, and it's one thing. It's like, and that, and also on top of that, it's just how dynamic fucking Eddie Murphy is. Yeah, it's a buddy cop movie, but if you really think about it, he's not, like there are so many people that carried on from a character like that. But that was, in a lot of ways, Eddie Murphy was, that was kind of like his first kind of serious role in a
Yeah.
way,
Oh,
because it
absolutely.
was
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
it was much more like, it wasn't slapstick jokes and everything. Yes, there is funny moments, but it was Eddie Murphy acting. I mean,
yeah,
like being real
Yeah.
about the moments, and like,
Not buckwheat in
so
the SNL skit.
yeah,
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 yeah.
no, I
Oh,
mean,
Book of
exactly.
love.
yeah,
Yeah.
but it shows a lot of different ranges, but I think that's one thing that really pops out is, what kind of guy Nolte was to Hollywood, because he was a guy, he was the main guy that people were after, the people
Yeah.
wanted to get on camera, and so I think it really shows that, and
Well, I think that's a good point because like like his big person, he got such a strong personality and just like kind
yeah,
of like he blows up on the screen, and Eddie Murphy had to match that, but Eddie Murphy does it like no other, and
Yeah,
it's like
yeah,
that's
right,
where it's like when he's you're going back and forth between Nick Nolte and Eddie Murphy. It's like they're not trying to one up each other. They just
yeah,
both have
right,
yeah,
strong personalities,
which is good
and
acting.
that's why it
That's
works.
that's called
Yeah.
being that's called being good actors. Like, and there's guys that can't do that. There's guys that you know, and I've heard in the past, like there are actors that have the ability to share the screen, and those are guys that can share the screen. They have the ability to work off each other, you know. And there's other guys that just want to own the screen, and it's always
suck
about
all
that.
the air out of the room.
Suck all the air out. But it's other guys that can they can play in the background. They can play a you know, not necessarily the lead role, like a Brad Pitt. A guy he could sit there and join and work on, you know, he could work with famous people because he can take a step back, you know, and you can see that dynamic.
Yeah, 100%. And the other thing we talked about kind of during the movie a little bit was just the way it captures the gritty atmosphere of San Francisco back in the 80s. I mean, it was filmed
like Ultra.
Yeah, and it was released in 1982, so I'm going to guess that it was probably filmed in 79 or something like that. And you know, you could see that with all the cars that you know, or with the car that Nick Nolte drives.
Early 80s, early 80s, so good.
Yeah.
Or when I work in San Francisco, so I see the streets, and it's a different that's a different time.
Yeah, totally.
than the way it looks now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's you're looking at different places you don't even recognize.
Well, what's funny is I just started
Yeah.
rewatched actually, I barely remember the show when I was a kid, but it was The Streets of San Francisco, and that was in the 70s, right, Tony? You probably remember that one.
Yeah, I do remember that. I watched that with Dad a lot.
But the great, I mean, it's just like a lot of what sucks is that they don't make movies in San Francisco as much anymore, and I think it's just because of the cost of shooting and all that. But San Francisco used to be like a main place where Hollywood would make movies. I mean, Hitchcock did it forever.
Oh yeah,
you know, and I mean, you could go down like some of the greatest movies of all time. The Presidio. You guys ever seen that movie? That's a great, that's a great movie. I love that movie, and it just captures the atmosphere. Those types of movies just capture the atmosphere of.
It's an absolute picturesque. Yeah, it's an actual picturesque area because there's nothing that looks like it. There's nothing that looks.
It's very distinct.
Feels very, very distinct. Like it's very hard to emulate that. You know, guys can go up in Canada and try to film movies and say, "Oh, it's San Francisco." You're like, that ain't.
Yeah, it's its own character in the movie.
Yeah,
you know, it's a part. It's like New York has that. Like Chicago has that, where it's like San Francisco, Chicago, New York. It has its own character.
New Orleans. New
Orleans is really good too. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, and those are all like to you guys' point. It's like it's a good thing to bring up because those are all set pieces, right? Like you said, like you always like those movies that were made in the 80s in New York. You got that New York vibe. You know, back then it was like New York was crime ridden, and you know, especially in the 70s and early 80s, and then you know, San Francisco was always kind of gritty and kind of like, you know. Obviously in the 60s and the earlier, you know, more free loving and all that, but those types of, like you said, like it encapsulates the vibe of those cities, and it's something that I just like. You can't get that if you're in front of a green screen, and that's kind of what they're doing now, where they're like, oh well, you know, they'll show like, you know, maybe wide shots of a city or an area, and then you know everything else is CGI, and it's just that's what you don't get like that. That's why these movies to me are so important, is because like you really have you're invested in these characters in the movie itself because of you know, you kind of get a feeling like you know, I just feel like it's more realistic, right? And it adds to that tension, you know. And like, but I don't know if there's ever another movie quite like 48 Hours where I've watched this movie dozens and dozens of times, and it's like every time it's like every beat hits, you know, like where they want to make you laugh, I laugh every time. Where they want to make you cry, you know, I mean, I'm not gonna, I mean, not really in this movie, but you know, you know what I'm saying. It's every single beat, you know. Every time with it, like you were saying, Tony, like they ramp up that music when they know the action's about to start again, and they're on, you know, and here we go, and you jump right into it, and it's like it hits every time.
Right back into the action part where like you see them getting to be buddies a little bit. They're like talking and they're talking to each other, and then it's like, oh no, now we see the little guy again. Let's go find him. And now they're chasing. Now they're on the bus. Now they're gonna go talk to the girls because they're, you know, the girl, because of whatever, they're in Chinatown now or whatever.
Yeah, and I'll mention another thing is like I've been watching a lot of like movies from the '70s, and we talked about it a little bit. It's just like some of these movies are so depressing, and like there's not really like a protagonist. There's not really a good guy, and I kind of feel like this type of movie kind of has a little of both worlds. Like it's got a little bit of that '70s feel to it, but the character development kind of they grow, and like it's a happy ending.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
not like the guy dies in the end. Like if this was filmed, a movie in the '70s, Eddie Murphy would have got killed at the end or something like that. Like
yeah.
and it's just
No,
or
took a bullet for him.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's like I get like so I like people always I know Quentin Tarantino.
Sorry, I was sitting down.
Quentin Tarantino talks about how the '80s was the worst time for movies and all. Like okay, I get kind of what he's saying as far as like cinema like being like like we're gonna make like original content and it's gonna be make you feel a certain way.
Yeah.
And but I think what happened in the '70s is that it just got so dark and depressing where everybody was just like, you know what, that can't the guy like have a happy ending? Like, why do we have to be miserable?
Yeah.
It's like the '70s is just like just give up. Like, why even try? And and so like I feel like this could have gone that direction, but they didn't go in that direction, and it made it so that like to me it's an iconic film, and like I said, it just I keep going back to it every at least once or twice a year I put it on, and then usually I'll follow it up with another 48 Hours because I think that's a great movie as well.
Yeah, that's a good one too. Same character. Yeah, it's nice to have like comfort. No, I'm saying.
So I want to bring up the big elephant in the room because this is something that it's really bothering me, and I think we just need to talk about this. Like, who from the movie Commando decided we're just gonna take the score for 48
the score
hours?
Has the same fucking.
And I don't care. Is Arnold Schwarzenegger in the movie? Cool. Then this is our score. This is gonna be the score because no one's gonna say no to him.
That's right. I don't know
why. I don't know who did it, but it was noticeable. I noticed it. I've always noticed it, but
yeah,
it's
yeah. I mean, when you watch one, you're like, oh wait, that's the 48 Hours song. Yeah.
I mean, and they didn't even change up a bass beat.
No,
or anything.
it's like
not even a ketone. Yeah. No, I mean nothing. We're talking about straight from the start. You're like,
yeah.
Okay, they didn't. They just said, where's the tape?
Yeah, and that must have been 2 years apart, if not even 2 years apart. It was like,
well, you know why that is? Because it's the same guy.
Yeah,
I know.
It's James Horner. James Horner.
I guess he took the week off, man, when he was making Commando.
Yeah.
He's like,
yeah,
it's like,
exactly.
it's like, just give him this. I'm going to Vegas.
Well, it's like
right.
it's like Vanilla Ice stealing the David Bowie song. It's like, oh no, it goes like it's a little different. Like, no, it's not any different. It's the same song.
Same song, bro.
But what I do want to talk about, and I think it's something we should talk about because it really stood out to me. Because I admitted to both of you guys that this wasn't really growing up. This was not one of my favorite movies because I think it was just too serious as a kid when I grew up, and I didn't understand it.
I can see that.
And I was such a Beverly Hills Cop guy. That was because I saw that before I even saw 48 Hours. So when I was seeing Eddie Murphy serious, it kind of threw me off. Like I didn't like it.
That's what I was going to ask you. If you watched that, you watched Beverly Hills Cop before 48 Hours.
I told Tony this religiously because we had our original VHS. It was Beverly Hills Cop, Big Trouble in Little China, and Ghostbusters. We're on one VHS, and I would watch Beverly Hills Cop 2 and Big Trouble in Little China every Saturday morning. That was the first thing I would put on. So it was like that was
good Saturday. That's a way to start your day. We get some.
I mean,
that's good.
Can you go wrong? I mean,
Get some
Every time, it was
Cocoa
like the first
Puffs.
thing
You got some.
Oh, dude. Oh, dude, it was legit, dude. Like sitting across, Indian style in the front of the TV. Like Saturday's about to go off. Like. So anyhow, but what I did want to talk about was the captain, Frank McRae.
Hey, Yeller.
Yeah, phenomenal. I mean, he's fucking great in it.
Yeah.
I have to ask. I mean, I wonder, because to be honest, like looking at it, I don't remember a police chief excuse me, not captain, police chief that was black at that time. Like, I feel like he was the first police chief that was kind of represented in Hollywood.
I mean, I'm sure he's not the first, but I don't disagree that it's probably. Yeah, I mean,
it was
yeah,
probably
because
thought about.
yeah, I mean, I mean, it's a good question. We could look it up, but like, because I know in the '70s they like a lot of that stuff was kind of already being hashed out.
But see what I've heard, and I know Nick, you've heard the same thing, is that a lot of times they were putting those black actors as judges or the police chiefs because they weren't major big parts of the movie, and it's really like quick, easy things. They weren't.
Yeah.
So it was just kind of like, okay, we gotta get
trying to meet the status quo with it.
Let's make him a judge. You can just say, "Don't do that again," and then you watch yourself, counselor, and then that was it.
Yeah, but I mean, to your point, I mean, Eddie Murphy was a leading star in Hollywood, which was that was a big thing, and he, because I mean, there have been black leading stars in the past, but I don't know if I mean it's just like he kind of I really think that he did a lot for kind of like breaking that barrier for black actors to be like a leading man and not and it really his career wouldn't have happened without this movie. And it's like you said,
well,
like,
Trading Places came up after this, and he was a superstar in that. I mean, like I think it was like pretty much back to back, and then
I think you're right.
I mean, he just took over the '80s. I mean,
he did.
Eddie Murphy was the biggest star of the '80s, or at least he was top 3.
Yep.
Of all the 1980s, and this did kickstart him though, no doubt about it. I mean, this was like, and it's like to what Nick was saying, it really shows like, hey, he's not just a loudmouth cussing
spoof,
jackass of himself. He can actually act, and be serious and funny, like be funny while being serious. And
what's your favorite Eddie Murphy movie? Let's throw that out. I know what Nick's is. Beverly Hills Cop.
Yeah, Beverly Hills Cop 2.
Not Dr. Doolittle.
Nothing after like 97. I think ever since.
Well, I mean, what was the one with Steve Martin?
He's Joe like that one.
Dude. Nutty Professor's up there too. I mean, Nutty Professor, he's amazing.
I actually really like Nutty Professor. The other day, I don't know who did. Someone sent me
I did.
Of the fucking table with the parent.
Dad. So dad, that used to make Dad laugh so hard when the father and the grandmother were going back at it.
Yeah,
and he just sit there. He's like, I want to put this on that. You walk over, but you live it back. And then mom is singing Amazing Grace, and he said, Dad used to think that was the funniest thing in the world. And so
you're walking over, but you're living back.
Living back.
Come on, please. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
Ain't nobody
help you. Ain't no one just walking over here. Come on. He's just looking up.
I got you got Beverly Hills Cop. I mean, for me as well, I would say. But Coming to America was pretty awesome.
Yeah, that was another one. I forgot about that. That's 80. That's like late 80s, 87.
You guys just like that because you saw Jamie Lee Curtis nude. Don't lie.
No, that was. No, yeah, that was good. That was a good part. That was a good.
That was good. That was very good.
That was nice.
Yeah.
But it's but I mean, 48 Hours. If you watch movies, you need to watch it because it is part of, I think, something you should revisit and check out because there's so many guys like we were all saying, like so many snap finger famous guys. You're like, wait, well, I know that guy from this.
Yeah.
And I know that, like so many people.
Bunch of the guys from the Warriors.
Yeah, from the Warriors. Yeah, and so you just recognize a lot of people.
Yeah,
Um,
I agree.
Yeah,
I
at a young
just want to
age,
say one more
like,
thing though, because like I think his funniest role was was Bowfinger that you were talking about.
yeah,
with Steve Martin.
When he has to
because
when he
not
has to
only
cross the freeway, dude, I like.
every time I even hear that movie title, I laugh. Like it's like
Yeah.
immediate but it wasn't just the nerdy character. It was the other guy too. That was the actor.
Yeah,
I think that movie's so funny. It's not a great movie, but it's
pretty
fun.
funny. Though,
It's
dude.
fun. It's fun to
No,
watch.
that
fun.
has scenes. That has scenes that you're like, oh god, he's gonna cross the street. He's gonna cross the freeway.
Bro, he's flying.
Oh yeah,
Oh.
yeah. And the other one I really like is Life, with Martin
Oh, yeah,
Lawrence
yeah.
because
Again,
with
that's
him and
another
Martin
one
Lawrence,
of my favorites.
and that
Yeah,
That's
like,
true.
and I'm surprised that him and Martin Lawrence didn't kind of team up again because I feel like their comedy like really kind of meshes together really well.
Oh yeah,
you know?
for sure.
Of course, you're gonna eat cornbread. He ain't gonna give you a cornbread. Yeah, you're gonna eat your cornbread. Fuck you. Fuck you. No, stand your ground. Fuck you. Yeah, I'm gonna eat my cornbread. You gonna eat your cornbread? I'm gonna eat. Yeah, you gonna eat this cornbread. It's like, what are you gonna do? Fuck him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
but-
yeah, I'll say. I mean, I don't know. I mean, where do you guys rank this movie? I mean, so let me throw out some other buddy cop movies. So obviously we talked about
Lethal Weapon.
Running Scared,
That was awesome.
Stakeout,
Wow.
Stakeout, and Emilio Estevez was my boy too.
Yeah.
but it's not a great movie.
Stakeout.
Red Heat, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Belushi. You remember Red
Oh, yeah.
Heat, right?
Yeah. I
Too
forgot.
white.
And last but
Oh,
not
expensive.
least, Tango and Cash. So, I mean, those are all buddy cop movies. I just think it's hard. Like 48 Hours of Lethal Weapon are kind of like they're kind of right there.
Yeah, they're
because
one too, man. That's a toss up. Because I watch that movie at least twice a year, also, and I get excited. I'm like, oh yes, dude, he's gonna. Even the beginning when he's doing the Christmas tree,
yeah.
Yeah.
he's like,
Yeah.
it's like, oh my
Crazy.
god,
You're crazy, man.
nuts, dude.
You're crazy.
You think I'm crazy?
Yeah. He's like, no, worth it, man. It's not worth it. He's like, yeah. He's like, dude, this dude is actually crazy.
Yeah, he's
Like,
nuts.
and he only proved it over time.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
I also put up what's the other one? They're not cops. But
Men at Work.
Well, yeah, I mean that's a buddy movie. But no, with Ryan
Oh.
Gosling. Nice Guys.
Oh, Nice Guys.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Nice Guys.
I-
That's my.
I
Dude,
mean,
Nice Guys and
kind of a
and,
buddy cop. I mean, you could kind of call it a buddy cop. You know, like
Exactly.
cops
I mean,
movies,
look,
really a
yeah,
buddy cop
yeah,
movie.
it is a buddy cop movie. It 100%
Well,
is. Yeah.
Nice Guys, and then the other one was Robert Downey Jr. and Val Kilmer. I fucking
Mm.
love that movie too.
Great call.
Those two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kiss,
Um,
kiss, bang, bang.
What?
Kiss, kiss, bang, bang.
Kiss, Kiss, Bang, Bang. And those are
Those are all Shane Black, who
Shane
wrote
Black.
Lethal Weapon. Yeah,
Yeah.
I love that guy's writing, dude. That guy. is
Everyone has.
freaking. Yeah.
Yeah, Joe, you know the story about Shane Black when he wrote Lethal Weapon 2?
Yeah, it's good.
He's like, I want a helicopter to fly over LA. And they just cut a bunch of coke over the city of LA. And everyone is just going to be on coke. And they're like, no, man.
They're like, no, dude, you
Are
can't
you
do
sure?
that.
I think it'll be great. I think it's going to be like real coke. Like, no, man, we're not doing that. Like, you can't do that.
well,
Shane Black.
yeah, I mean, actually, I'm thinking of that Alien movie was kind of like that. The Alien 2, or not Alien. I'm sorry, Predator.
Yeah.
Predator?
Yeah.
Oh, Predator too.
Where
Yeah,
they
yeah,
filmed
with
it in
the
L.A. and
man.
like L.A. was all like it was
Yeah.
like crime ridden. It was like a third world country.
Yeah, it's
Um,
all the Jamaicans.
yeah, all the Jamaicans. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I thought Predator 2 was underrated, but yeah,
oh, absolutely. I mean,
Yeah, for sure.
yeah.
people dog on it, but I think it's actually pretty good. Like, I was like, I liked it.
This was directed by Walter Hill. 48 Hours was, and he's known. He was a producer for Aliens and Alien 3, but he also wrote one of your favorites, or I know you like the movie a lot, Streets of Fire. I think
Oh yeah.
Nick, isn't that the movie you were talking about the other day?
That's the guy from Eddie
Michael
and the
Pear?
Cruisers, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, and
Wasn't it
actually,
Michael Cera?
I think it's
yeah. And Diane Lane is in it, or is it Diane Lane that's in it?
Yep.
Yeah, she's
Yep.
hot.
Is it a musical?
It's
no, but
kinda like-
it's yeah,
but
it's got
It
like
is
a.
and it isn't.
I think it's
like-
on Criterion right now. Actually, I think it's one of those those synth
Bro,
movies or whatever.
She rocks out. She has like, I don't know if it's actually her singing, but it seems like it. She has some like badass scenes in it. But yeah,
William Dafoe, like he's the
Yeah.
bad guy in it. And
Yeah, he's the bad
like,
guy in it, yeah.
you know his ambiguously gay, another ambiguously gay
Another
role.
gay part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where he's, he's doing it. No, but this was, I think this was before To Live and Die in L.A., which I don't know if you saw
which is
that one,
another
Nick.
thing.
Yeah,
Oh,
that
dude, that one's a good one.
But
That
William
was a good
Dafoe is great in that one. I mean,
Yeah.
I actually need to rewatch that. What? Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, 80s had kind of a mix. There was a lot of movies that were, I mean, not Streets of Fire, but there were a lot of movies that kind of had that like 70s, like kind of dark vibe to them. Obviously, there was, the slasher movie kind of took over in the 80s.
Yeah.
But I mean, it definitely, like, cinema definitely kind of went on a happy ending, where it's like, the good guy, there's actually a good guy and he actually wins at the end. So, watching some of these movies back in from the 70s, it's like, dude, I don't even really like the main character. Like, I don't care. Like French Connection, like, I hated that movie. And everyone's, it's such a great movie. I'm like, I don't like any of the characters in the movie. I just don't like them.
Yeah.
I just watched another movie talk about a movie filmed in San Francisco called Point Blank, and it's in it takes place in San Francisco in the 70s.
Yeah.
And it's great because it's the set piece of San Francisco City and everything. It stars Lee Marvin. You know him, Tony. He was in a lot of roles.
Yeah.
Like I'm trying to think of a role you guys would know him in.
Then
But,
I know Lee Martin.
Yeah.
Lee Martin, dude.
yeah, he was in. Was he? No, he was in a
the
TV
war
show.
movie.
He was in a
the
TV
war movie with Clint and what is that movie? The one
Yeah.
that's-
Oh yeah.
the one- yeah, with Jim Brown's in it.
Dirty Dozen. Was it
Yeah,
Dirty
Dirty
Dozen?
Dozen. Yeah.
Dirty Dozen.
He's the head guy in Dirty Dozen.
Yeah. Anyways, so the reason I brought that up is because like that I was gonna mention it earlier, but it takes place in San Francisco and in it's just like it's one of those movies where it's like, okay, like the guy like doesn't really have, like, it's all surface level like character, like he doesn't really have a personality, like, and it's like 48 Hours, like complete opposite, like big personalities,
All personality. Yeah.
and character growth and everything like that, where it's like like that type of movie from the 70s was a lot like the movie that they made in the 80s with Charles Bronson, the
Death Wish.
Death
Or
Wish.
the-
The Death Wish movies.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, and it's like I get those types of movies, but at the same time it's like the nihilism
Cut out.
is just like, it's just
Okay.
kind of like, like, I don't know, it's just so like pessimistic, it's like, and so I don't know, I think there's a happy medium is what I'm trying to say, and I think that like 48 Hours does that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it has that happy medium where, it's dark, it's super dark, they make the bad guys really bad, which is important. That's one thing I think a lot of movies screw up on nowadays, where it's like there's no
You make everybody likable, yeah.
yeah, everybody's like there's no consequences and like oh you know like the bad guy's not even that bad. Like what is it? What did he do? Like I don't understand why you know like they just said he was bad. But
Yeah.
what did he do? I don't know what he did. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't work. Like you have to have like there has to be consequences, you know, in a movie for it to have any kind of like long you know lasting legacy, you know. In my
I feel
opinion.
like there's some danger in it, right? I
Yeah.
feel like it might fall, you know, or they might get shot or whatever.
Well, like I was telling you guys, I went and saw that. Who's the British director that we like?
Guy Ritchie.
Yeah, Guy Ritchie. That Guy Ritchie movie that just came out.
Oh yeah, whatever. Like
This, oh my God, it was terrible. It was terrible.
Yeah.
And
he's
the reason, yeah, he's kind of hit and miss. But the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare,
right,
and it takes place in World War II, and he's trying to be like he was kind of doing what Quentin Tarantino did in Glorious Bastards, but it's like when when the characters in the movie you don't feel like they're gonna get hurt, even scraped on the knee, the whole movie. You're like there's no excitement there. There's no there's no suspense. It's just like okay, I'm watching a video game. Like what is this? And like that's kind of like why you know this movie like 40 Hours. It has that like where you actually feel like you know anything could happen. You know if you've never seen the movie, you know before like you get that feeling like, I mean they you know the cop gets killed like first thing you know well you know when he escapes you know the prison guard gets shot and you know they kill a couple other prison guards and then they just kill some random dude on the street and take his ID you know and his credit cards and then you know they kill that cop like first you know within the first like 15-20 minutes of the movie and it's like the suspense is already built in now you can start bringing in the characters. But one thing I wanted to bring up is something that you mentioned during the movie is that I think it was like almost a half hour into the movie before Eddie Murphy even shows up, right?
Yeah, it's crazy. It was like 25 minutes, right, or something like that.
Yeah.
I wrote it down. 25 minutes before we even got to see Eddie or even hear him. Yeah.
I feel like that's like it's intentional, obviously, but it's interesting that they didn't even have like a cut scene like in the beginning where he's like you know in jail,
Getting thrown in jail or something.
And there very well could have been scenes that they cut out. Like maybe he did have because that's one thing I will say that I have a little bit of trouble with the movie is that he's supposed to be like working with Gaines, the main bad guy in the movie, right? Or he had worked with him, you know, like they were like working together or partners in the past or something like that. Which it was kind of hard to see like Eddie Murphy and Gaines like doing anything together. Yeah, exactly. So I kind of felt like that was kind of to me it was a little bit of a miss in the script because it was like those characters didn't mesh. I mean, you know, you couldn't see those guys like doing anything together.
Right, and even when they were talking on the screen together, it wasn't like it was like "fuck you," hands, and then you know it wasn't like, yeah, I remember that time. You know, there was nothing that made you feel like they even knew each other.
Yeah.
By the way, like I said when we're watching it, who says "fuck you" better than Eddie Murphy?
Yeah, for
sure. Instinctive. You're like "fuck you, man." You man, you're like, oh yeah, fuck you.
That's a good point.
You agree with it?
Probably his brother. Yeah, his brother probably says it better.
Yeah, he probably did that when fucking he played basketball with fucking
couch.
Couch.
Another thing I really like about the movie is and which I appreciated the 80s. 70s did a lot too. It was like just naked chick for no reason. Like,
Yeah.
they don't do that anymore. It's kind of awesome because you're like, yeah, dude, this chick's not getting out of the shower. She's gonna be naked. She's gonna have a towel on yet. Like,
Yeah, I mean, I definitely miss that. I mean,
Yeah, it's awesome.
Everyone misses it.
everyone,
and it's
awesome,
like it,
dude.
you know, like it doesn't have to be gratuitous, and it doesn't have to be for that long, and it can
Right.
just be the tops. That's all.
Just be,
Yeah. That's because we grew up at a different time. These kids now can just look up boobs on their phones. Like,
yeah, I know.
have that.
It's true.
So it was like, dude,
Well,
we saw
even
boobs
more,
for any
even more
like,
reason
yeah.
that it needs to be in the movies. Like everybody's acting like there's some fucking Puritans nowadays or some shit.
Right, totally.
You know? Get the
No,
hell out of here with
seriously.
that.
Right?
And it's like, I mean, yeah, because well, I think part of it is because now they want to pretend like every woman character, actress is the main character, even when they're not.
And
So it's
and
like,
the strongest
yeah.
and smartest
Yeah.
and all the things.
But like,
yeah.
I get it if it was the main
Kids are not-
character
you don't
and you
need
don't
to get
yeah.
naked. Like everyone's gotta get naked to take the shower. Like there's no reason not to like not be naked. It doesn't
Yeah,
make
exactly.
sense. I
Yeah,
mean, there was
dude.
times, dude. Like
Well,
it's
it's
Yeah.
stupid.
we just went and saw that horror movie, right? In a
Yeah.
Violent Nature, is that what it's called?
Not one. Yeah. Now. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was like they had plenty of opportunity. Like,
No.
come on, like
Not one.
understand
And
what
there was a
what
scene,
kind
there
of
was a
movie
scene
you're
where
making.
the girl swam in a pond. She
Yeah.
swam in a lake. Two girls
Yeah.
at a lake.
Yeah.
Private lake.
With
no,
bathing
no
on?
nudity. Bathing
Yeah.
suit.
Yeah.
No
Yeah.
nudity.
Yeah,
Terrible.
like come on, like
That's terrible. That's terrible.
it's
I-
terrible.
fucking-
It's
F.
like yes,
You
it
failed.
is, dude. It is, and it was, and like that's not the only the worst thing about the movie, but it definitely was a red flag. Like early on, it was like, come on, like it's a slasher movie, dude. Like,
And especially in that movie because there's no women that want to go see a slasher movie. There's like one in
And if they
100
do,
girls.
and
my
if they
God.
do like slasher movies, they expect it.
Yeah, they know it's
if you're
coming.
the
They've-
slasher fans, they know what's up.
oh my god,
Yeah,
Tony,
for
Tony,
sure.
if you were there, like you would have been pissed off. Like that audience, the audience, there was probably like, I would say there's probably like 8 other people in the crowd. Not a peep the whole movie. Not even just like
Oh,
Oh.
like, ooh,
not once. And me and Nick were
Oh,
like,
there was
oh,
peep,
whoa,
there's a
you know,
peep for me and him.
and like,
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I know you guys weren't quiet.
Oh yeah.
and I got
um,
he was elbowing me to be quiet because this couple next to us they're getting upset. I'm like, it's a
Too
fucking
fucking
slasher
bad.
movie, dude. We're not watching
Yeah.
fucking Casablanca here, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
But no, but-
give me a
but the
fucking
hardest-
break.
But the hardest thing was because there was no score, so it's just whenever
yeah,
it
it's
was
already quiet. Yeah.
it's dead silent the entire time. So me and Joe are just talking like, "Oh, it's killer, dude." You know, like
Yeah.
Murph would like pull the hook, and then we're like, then it's dead silent. People are like, like yeah, dude.
I was more pissed at the people in the audience. I'm like, who goes to watch a horror movie, like a slasher movie,
yeah.
and then a big kill, like he like bends somebody in half, and like it was like some brutal kills, and we were like,
Yeah.
and they're just like,
Yeah, you know
that-
what? That might have
what
ruined
are
it
you
for-
doing?
for
What
you.
like you don't just like what are you getting off on this? Like I don't get it. Like I don't get it.
Yeah.
Like it's
Missed opportunity for the director though.
I wonder maybe that's why it made you like the movie less than you would have maybe before. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I
Because
immediately
those
said it.
those you want an experience with, dude. You want to experience that.
Dude, like we we watch Joe Bob all the time, and it's always about the movie going experience. I mean, the drive-in experiences like
Yeah.
that we had growing up,
Yeah.
and it's like, yeah, dude, like I get it. You don't want somebody talking through the movie, but if somebody's engaged with the movie and they're reacting to things that are happening on the screen. That's part of it, right?
Yeah,
it's like
totally.
that's gonna ruin the movie for you. Fuck off.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know, man. You guys got anything else to say about 48 Hours? I mean, I just
I think we should talk about the ending because like you made a good point when we were watching it. It was a really good ending. You were already making the point again how like the end it ends. It's not like a 70s movie where it's like a downer. You're like ugh. Like at the end, you're like, yeah, dude, fucking kill that guy.
yeah.
He's being a dick, just shooting everybody and like
Yeah.
acting like. And then I actually like it when he gets shot. He's like, I got like, he's
Yeah.
like all crazy. Like,
Yeah.
you shot me. I actually got shot.
He-
What?
I can't believe it. Like
I can't believe.
I actually love that scene because he felt like he was invincible. Like he
Yeah.
could do any like, and that's like how they built that villain up. You know, like where he was just like
Totally.
he could get away with anything. You know, like you're never
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
get me, cops. Like I'm, you know,
Yeah, yeah,
like
totally.
he, the whole you know, that's why like at the end I can't believe it. Like it was
Yeah.
great.
Yeah,
But no,
like, yeah, and Nolte kind of pulled the no, like
Yeah.
that's it.
yeah.
I'm done.
But what's
You're not getting away with this
what's
one.
classic was that he goes shoot him, and then he
Yeah.
shoots him, and he goes, oh damn it, I was just kidding. What are you doing? You
Could've
shot
shot
me. that was great. That was great, man.
Yeah, it was a good ending, and you know what, and that's probably another reason why the movie is such a good movie because you need a good ending to have a good. You could be a good movie, and then the end of the movie sucks, and you're like, it's all right. You really not like the movie because of the ending.
Yeah.
This was a good ending.
Yeah.
It was like it built up to this end where he's holding Eddie Murphy and Nolte's gonna shoot him down.
Yeah.
It was awesome, man.
And you're right. I mean, and I feel like so many times like the ending just falls flat where
Yeah.
it just ruins the whole movie, you know?
Yeah.
And it was like
Yeah, for sure.
and but I think that like a movie like this is like a perfect example of how you build the suspense and have the character development to where like at the end it was like almost they couldn't miss at the end, you know, like they really
Yeah.
had to screw that one up at the end. But it was because of everything that happened, you know, before that just made that ending so perfect. And it was a simple ending. It didn't have to be more complicated than it needed to be. Like that was another thing I think a lot of times they just try to get too complicated with shit.
Yeah,
And it's
totally.
like, dude, simple. Like keep it simple. Like especially if, I mean, like Nice Guys. Like there was kind of a you know, there was kind of like a like Nice Guys. Like I felt like is a great movie and has a great
Yeah.
ending and everything.
I love
But
that. Yeah.
it does have like kind of a complicated kind of plot kind of run through it. But
yeah.
but it
for sure.
doesn't. It's not really that important to the movie overall, right? It
Right,
was
yeah.
always about the two guys, you know, that
Right.
character development with those guys, you know.
That was a
Um,
good ending too, but that also made it like, oh, we can't make another one of these, you know?
Which
Like-
when do it?
Yeah.
Come
I
on.
heard
like,
they were talking. I heard they were
Yeah.
talking about it. So
oh
we'll
my
see.
god!
That's
And
another Steve movie.
yeah, I mean, I can't remember another movie other than well, I mean there were a lot of those like we mentioned those buddy cop movies, but since you know, buddy movies better than like the Nice Guys felt like an '80s buddy cop movie.
Yeah,
right?
totally.
And it was
Absolutely.
like-
It's old school.
Why can't they like? They you know
And
so,
you know what?
but
They
it
were
just
both flawed.
it's
True. I like that.
yeah, 100. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and
Yeah.
just like Jack, Jack Cates
Cates,
and Reggie
yeah.
Hammond in this movie, like both flawed characters,
Yeah.
but that's
Yeah.
what makes it they're so
Their
so
partnership
interesting.
good.
You
Yeah.
know, yeah,
dude.
and
Yeah.
but the Nice Guys like just proves that you can make like that was my point like earlier on that you can make this movie. I mean, you
Totally.
don't
You can.
like they can leave out the racial stuff and things like they,
Totally.
and
Absolutely.
it wouldn't affect this movie at all.
Right.
You
for
know what
sure.
I mean? So it's just they can make these movies. They just choose not to. That's the thing. That's the problem, right?
Except Shane Black. Yeah.
Except for yeah.
Shane Black.
Shane
Shane Black,
Black,
like Quentin Tarantino. They're gonna still make that.
No, exactly. Yeah. So, but
Yep.
and that's I mean, I don't know what Hollywood obviously has gone through a lot of issues with the writer strike and everything going on. So there's definitely been
Yeah, there's so much stuff.
yeah, there's been some pretty bad. It's been bad for movies, but it's like you know, like because people are like I've been watching some people on YouTube talking about how like is the movie theater gonna go away altogether because people just aren't going to the movies. Well, it's like dude, there's nothing to go see.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, well, and like you said, the writer's strike really is gonna kill this whole year. This whole year is gonna suck. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we got
Well,
the.
look at the boys. Have you guys started watching back? Did you guys watch the boys?
Oh yeah,
The new season,
yeah,
I feel like flawed. Like
yeah.
for what it's been. I mean, you're seeing it
Well, I mean,
happening.
well, that's your to. I mean, that's kind of what another thing they talked about is that people are now making shows and not movies, right?
Movies, yeah, yeah.
And so they're putting a lot of
Sure.
energy into because I think there's more. Obviously, there's more. I mean, the studios are probably looking at it like there's more money in if we develop these shows and put it on Netflix or Amazon or whatever, you know, or even it's Netflix and Amazon are ones producing them now. But I don't know. I mean, I I hope like I don't know, man. I kind of want to get your guys' thoughts on it. Like, do you guys feel like the movie theaters are going away? I mean, I was
No, hell no.
yeah.
No way. It's still a thing to do. Still to go on a date. Still a thing to. You just gotta have good movies in there. They make good movies. They just need to.
Yeah.
Oh, I got it. Hold on, sorry.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
I mean, Nick, we went and saw Maverick. Like that was a like
which was an experience.
it was a movie going experience, and the movie theater was packed. You know, we went and saw Blade Runner when 2049 when that came out. The movie theater was packed. So it's like you know, Dune obviously has done well. You know, I think both recent Dune movies. So, but
I mean, I just think what it is movies got to get back to practical effects. Like, or obviously Dune is an exception, but it's still like I don't. Shut the music off.
we got to tell him that there's a mute button.
Yeah, Tony's he's learning. He's learning.
What is
All right, Tom.
Sorry about that.
Is Vinny
So-
in the
so-
dungeon or what in your
Did you
castle?
just kick your son in the balls or what? I mean,
No,
what happened there?
He's playing too. His music's too loud. A neighbor came
Yeah,
over.
we know. We
And-
heard.
Yeah,
Oh, you heard.
and usually there's a mute button.
Is
Oh,
it?
sorry.
Yeah. It's a
Okay.
mute button. Shut the music off. Hey, sorry. Yeah, it's fine. I'm gonna go up there. He'll kick your ass. Hey guys, my loving child. I mean, anyways, back to 48 hours.
No, he's in the shower. He can't hear me. That's why I was like, whatever.
Yeah, we can tell. We can tell.
No, what were you saying, Nick? Yeah, it's about the.
No, but I think, why? I mean, it's like Tom Cruise, man. Why we need Tom Cruise? Because he keeps practical effects in movies, dude. Like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna jump out of the plane. Like,
Yeah,
No,
he's great. He is great.
no, I'm really gonna fly the
Absolutely.
jet. No, I'm flying.
But he
the jet,
wasn't,
and-
dude. But we watched that movie. Joe hated it when he was like, it wasn't a practical effect on that bus or the train that was falling. I was like,
Oh yeah, Mission Impossible.
so bad, dude. It was
Yeah,
terrible.
yeah.
I know.
And like, there is great effect in those movies. I love the Mission Impossible movies. I do.
But
I think
that actually didn't ruin the movie for me. I wouldn't say
it
that.
did ruin it. I'm just saying.
But I didn't like it that it was at the end of the movie. It was at the very end of the
Yeah.
movie, and it was terrible
Yeah.
CGI, and it was like, what the, like it kind of came
Well,
out of
like,
nowhere.
think about it. He's gonna be in a submarine in this next one, right? So it's gonna be super fake, dude.
Yeah,
In my opinion.
yeah. But those are all blockbusters, right?
Absolutely.
But what
Those are
I'm
great
talking,
movies.
what I'm talking
watch
about
those.
is like the Pulp Fictions or the like those types of like
This is
independent
fun.
movies
Yeah.
like that you're gonna actually go to the theater and see. It's like people just aren't doing that now because they're like,
Yeah.
I'll just wait till it comes out, and watch it at home.
Yeah.
And so I think that like I don't know. There's got to be a way to entice people back to the theater. I mean, I think that like people like us, like we just love the theater going experience.
Yeah,
the
I love
movie
the
going
whole
experience.
thing. The carpet, the smell of it. I like
Everything. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
absolutely. Popcorn, everything.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I just hope it doesn't become like a niche type of deal. But I mean, they had to come out with better movies.
Yeah, I mean,
So-
it's on Hollywood to put out movies. People will go. I mean, what was it? I don't remember the last. There was $1 billion movie just in the last year. I mean, when when movies come out, people are gonna go see it, dude. When good movies are there, people are gonna see it.
Yeah.
So and you know, we're in a situation with all the writer strike, so everything got backed up really far. So
Right. Exactly.
we'll see what happens, man. I mean, there's movies coming up. I mean, of course, the Deadpool Wolverine movie.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of all that shit's kind of getting tired, right?
It's
All
definitely
the,
it's definitely getting tired, but it definitely.
Well, I've been exhausted from all that. Even though I like Deadpool,
yeah,
I've been so superheroed out for so long. Like
yeah, totally.
But you're watching.
I
The Boys.
mean, yeah.
What?
You're watching The Boys.
Well, I mean, if you want to consider that superhero,
It's so
that
brutal,
is,
dude.
that
It's
is
gruesome.
different.
I gave up
That is
on it.
different.
I gave up on it.
It's pretty gross. I know, but it's fucking. It's fun. Fun to watch.
It is fun.
Yeah.
I think there's movies out there. I think there's concepts, but you know that's another thing. If people don't go, they're gonna have to start writing actual movies. Like fucking stop doing second and third movies or remakes of fucking movies that we love. It's like, dude, no, dude.
Yeah.
Don't do a fake ass Point Break. Do a fucking new movie.
Yeah, seriously, I know, and yeah, exactly.
You know what
And,
I'm saying? Like,
well, this is
Roadhouse.
what's pissing me off is that they just call it Point Break now. They don't even call like
Right. Yeah. Right.
What do you mean?
What?
No, it's not.
Like there's like no respect to the real name, really.
I mean,
Right.
make a
How
movie
dare-
like
how dare you?
make a movie exactly like Point Break, but call it something else. I'll have more
Well,
respect for it.
and we're all watching.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
But it's like it's just that's a perfect example though. It's like the Roadhouse movie. It's like don't call it Roadhouse.
Right. Don't call it Roadhouse.
That wasn't
Why do
Roadhouse.
that?
They call it something else.
He doesn't have
That
to be
is not
Dalton.
what it
He could
was.
be
Yeah.
Darren
No.
or whatever. Like
Sure.
fucking.
Yeah.
They just do it. They do it because
Present.
name
Like, I don't
recognition.
know.
And
Yeah,
they get
it's-
people like you and me to go, oh, Roadhouse. Oh, I love that movie. Let's go watch it. You know,
It's terrible, dude.
I didn't
It's
even see. I'm glad you guys.
Don't.
I didn't even
Yeah,
see it.
I don't.
so.
Don't. It's not.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
I
And
don't.
I
It
like
is
Deadpool.
terrible.
I like
Terrible,
Deadpool.
terrible. I didn't like. I didn't like
They-
I didn't like whoever did the camera work too. They were trying to do this weird thing where it would be like first person like action, like when he's like getting these some of these fights. It's like, no, dude.
Okay, well, here's a question, actually, Joe, because I want to bring it to you. Sorry, Tony, go on. I cut you off. So go on.
No, you're good. No, I was done.
Talk about Monkey Man, because I started that, Joe, and all I got was like, this is like an Indian version of John Wick, and it was like obvious.
Without all the
You know, it
guns.
was-
I think it's
it was like
better
little-
than John Wick. I'll be honest with you. I don't think it's better than the first one, but like
okay,
maybe
Yeah.
2 through whatever we're on now.
Or
I loved it. I loved it. I thought that there was like a lot more like underneath that was like it was kind of a commentary on Indian society.
it was all political. There was a lot of
Yeah,
political.
there was a lot of political stuff that I didn't even understand. I didn't really know what was going on as far like
Right.
that's why I actually want to rewatch it. But I like that guy. I think he's.
But I
like,
can tell you were fired
Patel.
up about it.
Well, because that guy, I think it's
Dev Patel.
Yeah,
Dev.
he directed that movie too,
Yeah, this is for-
and
Oh, I didn't know.
yeah,
that.
Jordan Peele was I think a producer.
Producer.
But I felt like because like me and Tony went and saw that one at the theater, and it was really kind of slow, and it was like kind of like you kind of like where's this going? But like the thing is like I think it's the reason I'm saying I actually feel like it's a better movie than John Wick because the character actually he gets his ass kicked like straight up. I mean
yeah, a lot, yeah.
and like it's not until like late in that movie that he kind of gets his redemption and kind of
totally.
you know like he has to go through a lot of shit and they even have like a cool like training montage and like
totally.
all this like kind of like this Eastern spirituality mixed in with it, which I thought was really kind of cool. I liked it a lot. I really and I thought it was shot really it was really well done.
No, the cameras,
Like, yeah.
camera, and everything was good. I liked all that too. Even the chase scene, like when he's in that little tiny mini car or whatever.
Yeah, I mean,
Running through
well,
town, that
like,
was pretty cool, yeah.
even like that character, for instance, like the guy that owned that car that worked at the restaurant with him. Yeah, but like you didn't know if that guy was gonna be a bad guy or a good guy right?
Right,
I
yeah,
like
totally.
I thought they did a really good job of kind of like it was kind of gray, you know. The whole
But
movie was kind of you didn't know which direction was gonna who was good, who was bad, who was gonna you knew that
Right.
he was gonna have his redemption because what would the movie be without it? But there
Right.
was a lot. But again, a movie with consequences, like a lot of
Oh, hell yeah.
like the shit that happened to him in the past was
Yeah.
horrific. Like
Yeah.
and like I just like I really had an emotional response to that movie. You know,
Yeah.
like
It's
I
good.
felt like I was like this is somebody that knows what he's doing. Like this is
Yeah. And that was his
I
first shot at it, right? I mean, I'm sure he's gonna get better and better, dude. So
so you didn't finish it, Nick?
I didn't, but I'm gonna rewatch it because
yeah.
when you told me that you liked it, I was like, all right, because I just had my I just because I there first off there are some badass fight scenes in it. I will give it that. I just it brought me too much. It just was like too much like the I don't know, and it was like. And then the dog, they started feeding the dog, and I was like, okay, dude, like, what's up? Like, are we doing John Wick here? Or are we doing like our own thing? But I do want to revisit it because I did
Yeah,
like
but I don't know if you saw it, but he used the dog to get in. That was how he got
Just
in.
to get in. Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah,
he
yeah,
was. It
yeah.
was. It
No,
was. It was plain like. So yeah,
so I had an
I
initial
know.
reaction, and
Yeah,
so I think I want to revisit it and be like, all right, like
and it visually it definitely had the it was like John Wick for sure because like you know how John Wick's kind of like neon lights and like all the
Yeah.
like in these fight sequences and stuff. But
Night.
that last John Wick movie was so dumb. Like the one
the
before
fourth.
it was bad with the dogs and what's Halle Berry's character was
What?
so ridiculous.
I like three.
No,
I
but
thought three was nice.
they were sitting there fight like people. They were fighting, killing each other in the middle of a rave.
Yeah.
What the hell? Like these people are just like, oh, dancing. Oh, that guy just got his throat ripped out. Oh,
Ollie,
yeah.
NBA,
I was
I'm
like,
all
I was like, where the hell are they, dude? Like this
crazy.
yeah, it was,
You know,
yeah,
but
it
yeah,
was, it was.
I
bad.
didn't.
I think the second
My
one,
thing,
in my opinion, was actually the best. Like the second one where he fights the Asian, those Asian twins.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that was the second one, right? Where he has the
First
yeah,
one's the best. Though.
yeah. The first one's the best because
First one's
yeah,
just the ultimate. It's so good.
it is the best. Dude.
And then it kind of
Yeah.
got silly. It keeps getting sillier, but
Yeah, but I like the
still
second one
I
a lot.
heard, I
Because,
heard you
yeah.
slap my son. I did slap your son, or I heard you. I did strike your son. Why is that? Because he
Yeah.
killed John Wick's dog and stole his car. Oh,
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
maybe regret
Yeah.
that. Maybe regret that.
yeah.
Maybe regret that.
No, yeah, it's yeah. I mean, I like the John Wick series for what it is, you know.
Yeah,
But like
yeah.
you said, it just got more and more ridiculous as
Yeah.
the series.
Well, I
went
just
on.
don't think I don't think they were really prepared for what it took. I don't think.
Well, it
they
was,
were
yeah, they
prepared
didn't know
for
it was
that.
gonna do that.
They
Yeah.
didn't. They didn't know it was going to turn into that, and I think they're like, "Holy shit!" Like people are like, we got to create this whole universe, and I love that universe. You know, like
Yeah.
the
The
hotel,
hotel and all that.
yeah, like it's just
Yeah.
all that, and there's that whole underworld. It was really cool. Like
Yeah.
that premise.
But
is really cool.
I think that was like I think it was the third one that kind of went where they had like all those like women on the phones and like
Yeah.
oh
yeah.
John Wick and like I hated that. I hated that where they were
Yeah.
like John Wick is now available for
Right,
like
yeah.
shut the what? Anyway,
He's just
I-
like some women. They're a bunch of women. You know, like,
no.
it's all because a bunch of women in there.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Why is it not men? Men take calls too. Oh man, they can have a man to like plug in a thing. Why not?
That wasn't it. That wasn't the reason why. But yeah, no, I mean, I just I think there's hope for movies. I think that the woke thing is kind of going away. It's dying.
Yeah, it's dying. It's
you
dying
know.
down.
I think it's
No, it's dying down. It's dying down to like the normal shit. Like, you know.
exactly
it-
like
it-
I don't
it-
mind like some of it is reasonable and
Yeah.
and it like I'm not gonna lie. Like some of these older movies, like it's like sometimes it is a little cringe. You
Well,
know,
I mean,
because you're like,
yeah,
well, I
there's
can't believe
different
they
times.
just said that like out of nowhere. Like I don't
Yeah.
know. It's just.
Well,
but,
think about the new Star Wars, the new series.
I'm never gonna watch that shit.
I'll
That,
never
that
watch
Star
it.
Wars is dead. to
It's
me.
been getting absolutely annihilated.
I know. I
Yeah,
love
I know.
it. I love it.
Yeah,
I love it. Yeah,
It is
I'll never
obvious.
watch it.
It's too obvious.
yeah,
I watched 20 minutes.
Oh
No,
yeah,
stop.
it's supposed to be like that. It's same as that South Park, dude. Where it's that chick who's in charge of Disney now. It's like,
Yeah.
make it
Kathleen
woman,
Kennedy.
make it a woman, and make it gay.
Yeah.
Not, I need more women and more gay.
I mean,
it's
like
all. It's
that's
everything
literally
they do
what
now.
they're doing now. It's
Yeah,
so
it's terrible.
it's so bad. It's so bad. It's like haven't I have like do you have any clue who your actual audience is?
Right? Yeah, totally.
Do like they have they're
No.
like how can you be like how can you get that high up in the business world and be that stupid?
Yeah,
Like,
it
seriously,
would
like-
be cool. It would be cool if they had a director that just came out and just like made a 48 hours, just a legit like just a good movie with no like anything, just like. I mean, I guess Nice Guys was kind of that though. I mean, because it was funny and it was offensive, but not really. But like
Yeah.
dark and funny, like just someone just didn't give a shit. Just made another movie, or just made like a fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, like a Commando. or-
Well, I mean,
Like, just
it's
something
Sisso,
like that.
Sisso, what was it, Sisso?
yeah, dude.
I mean,
it's a-
yeah, I mean, there.
yeah.
That's the thing is that there's so much content. There's so much
Yeah.
It's like these movies are actually some of these movies are being made. We just don't know about it, you know. And
Yeah.
it's like, but that's another thing. Is like, they're not getting theatrical releases. Like
Yeah.
Sisu, if they would like that could have been a great theatrical release. I would have went to the movies and see that if they would have like put money
Actually,
into it.
watch
Put a
that.
commercial, yeah. Put commercials on it. We would have went and saw it for
Yeah,
sure,
I know.
for sure.
Yeah. You'd be like,
It
oh,
was awesome.
that sounds fun. Like at the movie,
Yeah.
yeah, hell yeah. I go like, what? He takes on a whole Nazi regiment. Like that was awesome. That was awesome.
Such a good movie.
But I want to bring back 48 Hours real quick because there's one actor in this movie that I want to talk about who's in a ton of movies in the 80s, and it's David Patrick Kelly. Was his name? He's the guy that plays Luther.
Oh yeah, the skinny guy. Yeah,
Yeah.
fucking
The
Dreamscape,
dude
yeah.
from Warriors. He was
Dreamscape.
in Commando. He was in
Yeah.
Dreamscape. But I always felt like he was a great like
Bad guy fate.
Yeah, what do they call him? Like not Fall
Twerp?
Guys, but like he was always the was there a word for it?
Antagonist. He's just a twerp. He has
Yeah.
that twerp face, that little fucking antagonizing, like
I mean, he
Yeah,
He
dude,
just-
he's a Warriors, Commando, The Crow, Dreamscape, 48 Hours, Crooklyn, Longest
was-
Yard.
you know in every single one of those movies he tried to play the lead, and we're like, yeah, you could do that, or you could play the asshole.
Bad guy.
Like, there's gonna be like
yeah, everybody.
always
they were
like
gonna kill
change
it,
it.
yeah.
Like, why am I always getting typecast as the asshole? Maybe because you got that face.
You just kinda-
Everybody-
your face.
and the voice.
He's like,
it's
I want to punch
like
you.
that.
I want to punch you right now. I mean, I'm your
Like,
friend. I want to punch you. Just you asking me that makes me want to punch you. I think it's a good role.
But
I think good for
it's
you.
not only the face; it's also the voice.
The
And
voice.
It's
yeah.
also that you're little, but you act like you're tough. Like
Yeah, you're cocky, too cocky for your face, your stature.
I mean, that dude must have got slapped in the face at least a dozen
So
times
much.
in his life, in real life.
Yeah, in high school, you just
Yeah,
walking up,
100%.
walking up, just getting smacked, dude. Fucking A.
Yeah. No, but he was really good. He was
No, he's good
great
at all that.
in those types of and like
He's
Yeah.
never landed. I've never seen
Yeah.
him in a movie. I'm like, he was terrible.
Right.
well,
Every
dude,
time
he
I'm like-
was legitimately terrifying in Dreamscape.
Dude, hell yeah.
You've
Scared
seen
the
that
shit out of
movie,
me.
right, Nick?
No, I
Have
haven't.
Oh my
Oh,
god. Okay. So you
dude.
gotta watch
Scares
it.
me. It scares me, dude. Every time.
It is a scary movie.
It scares me, dude. I get scared. All right, I'm scared. I'm scared to see it. All right,
He-
You're
I'll
not gonna-
admit I'm scared.
You're not
I
gonna
don't
see
care.
that.
I don't care who watches this and wants to judge me. I'm scared. Okay,
It's-
I don't want to
Yeah.
do it. I've tried twice, and I'm like, nah.
Nah, that's
You're
good. We're good.
But yeah. But maybe I just need to do Tony's thing and watch it at like 10 a.m.
You can do that.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
nobody's gonna hold it
yeah,
against
that's-
you.
that's out,
Just watch
and
watch the movie.
that's-
And, like,
If you're alone, only
in,
if
in
you're
the
alone.
spring, and it's springtime, and the flowers are out. Everything's good. Everything's okay.
Only if you're
I'm
alone.
safe. I am
You
safe.
got-
It's the problem with that movie nowadays is the CGI, because there was a lot of
CGI is
CGI and
bad,
it's
yeah.
so dated and it's like, oh,
That
man,
one, you know,
But
see,
I can-
that's
I
a
can look
movie.
past
that
it.
one you can remake.
remake
exactly.
that movie.
Yes.
Yeah, dude.
Yes. Yeah.
Let
100%.
Dennis Quaid do it again. Make it like a
Yeah, he could be.
second version of it.
Well, he could be like a doctor or something in the movie. But
Yeah,
yeah.
or-
I
yeah.
think you could have a younger guy that,
And
or
you
yeah, he
probably-
could be like, yeah, exactly. He could be like the
the
same character,
mentor,
but he's yeah,
the mentor.
exactly.
Yeah, the mentor. Yeah.
Yeah,
He would do it too.
Hell
He
yeah.
would.
yeah, but
Like,
that
I'll pop in for a minute.
yeah, it's that movie is definitely it's not a great movie because I think, well, obviously it's, you know, the special effects are dated, but I don't know how scary it is. I mean there was like that one scene, like there was a
It's a
couple
good one,
scenes
yeah.
in that one that definitely
Couple scenes that,
hang on to you.
I don't know. I
Yeah,
don't- I
there's
think-
just a couple jump scares.
I think it's just one of those movies we just probably all should forget. I mean,
I don't know why that movie bothers you. Is it I mean,
it just did.
it was because
I
of the
saw it at a
dream?
young age. Dude. I saw it when I was young, and yeah,
He doesn't like snakes.
No, I don't. I don't like
Snake.
snakes. You're right. Thanks, Tony. Thanks for letting everyone know. I appreciate that.
The
Fuck
snake.
everyone that doesn't like. If you like snakes, you're an asshole. I hope you all know that. Anyone that likes snakes, you're an asshole.
You're a weirdo. You
Oh,
are a weirdo.
look at this beautiful creature. It's so
Mhm.
cute. Like, no, it's not. It's gonna kill you.
Eat you.
Yeah.
That's,
Yeah.
it only wants to eat you. Anyhow,
Yeah,
Mm.
that
movie's
that
scary.
that movie kind of it reminded me. It kind of reminded me of Poltergeist a little bit
Oh yeah.
in that
yeah.
vibe where it was like kind of like, you know, you're kind of on the. I mean, well, that one is like dreams.
Actual dreams.
Like
yeah.
Poltergeist is kind of happening in real life.
see, it
So,
reminded me
yeah,
of Twilight Zone, like when the dream one in Twilight Zone.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
actually, that's a good. Yeah, well, there was that cartoon one they did.
The
Kind
movie.
of reminding me.
Yeah,
of that
yeah,
one.
yeah. That's
Yeah.
It just brought me back to that, and we all know Twilight Zone is terrible. So.
That
Yeah,
that
movie was scary. That was awesome, dude.
You want to see something
Real scary?
I
Yeah,
can't.
John
I don't know.
Lithgow.
Like I must have been. I mean that was Dan Aykroyd, right?
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
Dan-
That was Dan
yeah.
Aykroyd in the beginning and the end.
Yeah.
Yeah. John Lithgow was so good in
Scare the dog.
that.
Yeah, so I don't know. We could wrap it up. I mean, you guys.
Cool, cool.
I think I still want to. I mean, I guess to bring it to a conclusion. If you haven't seen 48 Hours, I don't know what you're waiting for.
Yeah,
it's
shit.
well worth it. And I will say I do think that this is one of those movies where you watch 48 Hours, then you watch another at 48 Hours. I kind of always do that. I always watch the first one because it's one of those where the second one takes place right after the first one.
Yeah.
So you kind of roll right into it. It's just like Rocky 1 and Rocky 2, you know.
Yeah,
So
for sure. 100%.
but yeah, it's to me it's a must watch.
Yeah, 2 thumbs up.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yep.
All right.
Cool.
All right,
Cool,
boys.
cool.